Okay, so we're recording. So you guys, today, actually each of our mastermind calls, we want to keep this more of like a mastermind where we can answer questions, where we can share what we're doing, what's working, and ways to help each other build our business while keeping it simple. So remember that no matter what we do as leaders, I think that we as leaders are more open to learning and reaching for other things that are going to help us build a big, huge business.
Careful, Peyton.
And that sometimes we get away from the vital behaviors in doing so. I know I've been guilty of it, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. So what I want you guys to remember at the end of the day is you, number one, need to be doing your vital behaviors, as simple as that power of 3 document. Okay. And I don't want you to think like, I got this, I can do this, because you know what? I said the same thing. And at some point in time, it nips you in the butt. And then you're chasing that momentum. You're trying to get that momentum again. And every single time you turn around and you're overwhelmed, it's because you're trying to do all these other things, right? Like we're trying to do ads, we're trying to do this, we're trying to do our own open house, we're trying to do that. But you know what? When we're together, we're awesome. But we're all unique. So we can all bring awesome, unique invites to the table, follow-ups to the table, private business opportunity invites to the table, whatever it is. Don't get overwhelmed with this. So that's really what I want to keep these mastermind calls to, and really keep them simplified and go over things that are working for you, ways to go through conversations, or if you have a coach that is pushing and working hard in the business and you have questions or things to go over that you think would be helpful in sharing with the rest of these leaders, please share. But always remember that when you're working with your coaches, you need to keep an open mind. You need to make sure that if you're wanting them to do their power of 3, you better be doing it on your own, right? Like speed of the leader, speed of the pack. You cannot be expecting your team to hit Success Club if every single freaking month you are not hitting Success Club. Okay? We know that that's only 3 people. 3 people. If you're not inviting and following up and you're not hitting Success Club, it usually is because you're not consistent. You know, so if we are showing up every single day and our name is on the Success Club banner that is posted in the team page, your team is going to see that. If you see your team, if you see your teammates on there, give them a shout out in the comments so they start seeing their name on there. That's huge recognition for people. People love that. And I think as we grow as leaders, it's hard to figure out how to motivate people to want to reach Success Club. And you have to keep it simple. Success Club is that mile marker for success that not only pays for their Shakeology, but it builds their business every single month, right? They're not only adding coaches for Team Cycle Bonus if they're doing discount coaches or business builders, but the commissions that they make each month on 3 new people pays for their shake, right? And their coach fee. Boom, done. The more they do it, the more income they earn. Same with you, same with me. It's that simple. Like, bring it back to the basics. The other thing is that Tanya and I really wanted to hone in on is that when you come into leadership, a lot of it is mindset. Like, you truly have to believe and know where you guys are going without a doubt, right? You have to envision 2-star or 5-star or elite, whatever your goal is. The pedal needs to be to the metal right now, all the way to the end of the year. Relentless. On days you don't want to, right? Good, bad, ugly, you show up. And you have to truly believe that you are willing to do whatever it takes to get there. Because Tanya and I will be the first ones to tell you, we have had the freaking rat race at the end of the year to pull through our last diamond for an elite coach, or a couple more points to get those elite points, or coaches falling in and out of diamond and you're trying to hold a rank for a bonus pool, whatever the case may be. I truly feel like we all need to go through that because it makes us stronger, right? It makes us stronger leaders. It makes us stronger coaches. It helps us be more relatable to our coaches because we know they're going to experience it. And I'm here to tell you, each and every one of you guys are going to experience it. And it sucks, but you dig your heels in and you do what it takes. Because you know Tanya and I are here with you and that we're in the trenches. You know that we've been there. We are here to help you. But you need to stay focused and truly believe that you are going to reach that end of the year goal. And every single day when you show up to work, your actions are a reflection of what that goal is going to take to get there. Okay? Whether you are getting frustrated with inviting to the business opportunity, you know what? Turn it around and do some massive invites to a kick-ass challenge group and do what Tanya does. Convert those people into awesome coaches. Make it fun. It only a 21-day fix. Like, who doesn't get results with the 21-day fix, right? You can convert some awesome coaches that will pop emeralds. You guys have to believe coaches do pop diamond in 30 days. Like, it happens. And when you walk into this and see like, oh, well, you know, not everybody pops diamond fast. Yeah, you're right. Not everybody does. But there are people that do. And you guys have what, 3 months till the end of the year? What else do you need? You need some kick-ass coaches that are going to want to reach some serious goals, right? So what do you need to do to find those people? And your mental mindset needs to be shifted in that gear to find those go-getters, okay? Don't get them all, you know, messed up and confused on all these extra things. Keep them focused on that power of 3. Because even in this diamond training, Tanya and I have them posting the power of 3 document. And the first week they posted it, tons of them, I mean, every single person uploaded it. You guys, this diamond training is freaking amazing. Even though they uploaded it, there was quite a few empty boxes. So when we did our mastermind call, we approached that. That was our goal, is to get them to fill out and recognize spots they were missing. That's all you have to do with your coaches. Because you know just as well as I do, if they show up and recognize what they're not doing and their business isn't growing, they're going to work harder on those areas to get their business moving. And I know the girls that are in this group that were in my diamond group last fall, they will tell you that power of 3 works. That is how they got to diamond in that time period, right? So we have some super motivated coaches in that diamond training. And I will tell you, there's probably 15 or 20 pushing to have diamond between October 1st and October 15th. So there are also probably, what, Tanya, is there like 5 or 6 people we've pulled out already? Is that right?
Yeah, we pulled out some. Yeah, we pulled people out. And then also some people have decided it's not the right time for them. And so they've decided not to be in it. But I think that that's actually pretty good percentages because we still have quite a few people in there that are active. They're active in the group.
I think there's like 85.
Yeah, and when we do a post, it's literally like you put it up and they are already commenting on it. Like they're waiting to for information. But I think the biggest thing with them is the first week, we had to kind of clean out their heads because they had way too much information that wasn't important. And we had to bring them back to the basics. And they're like, oh, what about my placement and my tree? And I'm like, well, how many coaches are you signing? How many coaches do you have? Oh, well, 2. Then why are you worried about your entire placement right now? Wait till you get a coach and then we'll figure out where to place them. And they're like, okay. And a lot of them after our mastermind call said that they had things were a lot easier. They were just overthinking everything and truly were on information overload and on before. And when they just focused on the power of 3 and they knew that was all they needed to do, it made it a lot. They just were so they were like, oh, she's so much easier. And we've seen a lot of success from them just being focused on the power of 3.
Yep. So make sure you're touching base with those people behind the scenes too. I think most of the people that have been pulled out are in communication with you guys as well. They're more or less afraid they're disappointing you guys. Really, truly, honestly. Like, you guys have some amazing coaches, and they don't want to disappoint, you know. And they are still working hard. It's just life happens, and now is not a good time for them, and that's okay. And we've told them that, you know, like, this is great that you recognize it. That is super important. You know that we're here to love and respect you and help you the best way we can. And if now is not a right time for you, then that's totally fine. So know that you guys, those people in there are doing awesome. And they're really, really pushing hard, and they're super motivated. And the coaches that you guys are signing now, remember to keep it super basic with them. You know, like the verbiage of, you know, my goal is to help you get your Shakeology paid for first and foremost. And the way we do that is for you to find 3 people to plug into our next challenge group. That's it. And when people find 3 people, you don't have to tell them how to invite either, right? Like, I don't even know how this happened, but over time, we feel like we need to give people scripts. I think that screws people up. Like Tanya was saying, don't give them all this clutter. If they come to you, like how to invite, for me, the best recommendation is to have them put themselves in the invite. What are they struggling with, and why are they doing this? And invite those people to join them as accountability partners. Because they literally could go through their Facebook friends list and invite every Joe, Susie, Bob, Bill, whoever, every day. They could invite 10 or 15 people a day and copy and paste that same invite, and then build relationships with the people that want to learn more information. Nobody's going to judge you when you're inviting them to join them as an accountability partner because you're struggling with, you know, nutrition and portion control yourself and need the extra accountability. Nobody's going to judge you for that. You know, focus on building those relationships once you have somebody that you know is interested in learning more. So what are some of, those are kind of the tips, the tools. One last thing Tanya and I have been talking about too is, as you become a leader, you get more stuff from your coaches, right? Like, we are not counselors. First and foremost, let me just put that out there. I never went to college for counseling or anything. Like, I have no expertise. I can be somebody's friend all day long, but I can't solve your problems. Neither can any of you guys. I'm pretty sure nobody on this call is a counselor. Okay, Sarah. Sarah is. But that's not in your beat.
Send them to Sarah then.
Right? Right? Sarah, put your hand down. No. That's not what you're here for. So, you guys, just like you don't do that to us, when your coaches come to you guys for like dealing with all this stuff, you know, you can address it nicely, but you need to move on. Like, that's not our position. Our position is to help them with business stuff. We are a partnership. We're not management, right? I think that for Tanya and I, that was like one of the hard parts of going into that leadership role, that you need to always remember, you know, that your business is your business. Your life is your life. Your stuff that's in your life, because we all have stuff, right? Like, we all have life happen, is not for us to dump on our coach. Like, that's a heavy burden to bear, you know? So make sure that you draw the line between those relationships and those friendships, and you can listen to somebody, but you can't cancel them, okay? I've talked to tons of coaches and leaders that have had this issue. You need to make sure that you put that barrier there up front. And you guys are going to experience this more and more. So that's why I want to make sure to put that out there. So now moving forward, I want a mastermind. I want to spend some time talking about like what's working for you as far as maybe private invites, posts, branding yourself, like those things that are going to move your business forward, things that you're dealing with coaches that you know that other people might be dealing with, because we're all in the same level. We are all in that leadership role. So anything that you guys have to add or to share, all of us are experiencing at some point in time. So what do you got?
I'm getting a little echo. Something that's been helping me lately with coaching invites is almost like not taking no for an answer in a polite way. So what I mean by that is if someone says, I don't have the money for that, or I don't have the time for that, and I've got to know their situation, being very blunt with them in my, I don't know if this will work for everyone, but being very blunt with them has helped a lot. And I've noticed a significant difference in the amount of people that are at least open to looking into an open house or signing up by saying, wait, you just told me that you don't have money and you're refusing an income opportunity. And I just leave it at that. And I'll just call them out on whatever BS excuse I've been given lately. And that's a little bit rougher than I used to, but I just started doing that. And a lot more people have been interested ever since I've been very blunt and direct with people in a loving way, I guess. So that's what I've been doing, and it's been helping.
So Brad, what do you say to them when they're like, oh yeah, I don't have time for that right now?
I tell them that's why they need to do it. Like I'll just turn it right on its head and say, if you don't, so you've seen what this has done for my life, and you're saying that you don't have time for this right now, but if you take a look at your life in 5 years, does anything change? And every single time they're going to say no. So I'll be like, so this is an opportunity for you to completely change that. At least take a look at this open house so you can decide for yourself if it is a good fit or not. So I just flip whatever their objection is onto their head, on its head, and that's been working. So
that's in a lot of like leadership books, though. You know, that they talk about calling people out in a loving way. Like most people have excuses, right? Whether it's lack of time or lack of money. But they reached out to you for a reason, and then they want to give you excuses. A lot of times, I'm not saying the excuses are legit. Like, I mean, everybody could use extra money. Some people are tighter on money than others. But you know that this business opportunity can bring them more financial freedom. So what's the harm in them checking it out? You know, and at the end of the day, they can sign up with just the coach fee. You know, and they can bust their tail to earn enough to pay for their own Shakeology. They have 30 days to buy a challenge pack to be proof of the product. If they could be great at faking it till you make it, right? Or maybe they already have a Beachbody program. Sometimes people need that gentle nudge. That's awesome. What else? Everybody's like either writing or typing.
I'll say something.
Okay. Hey.
Hi. I just think that, like for me, like with the coaching thing, it's been, you know, it's definitely like my struggle, or whatever you want to call it, to invite to the coaching opportunity. So I'm getting more and more comfortable with it, and working on really like focusing on what Brad said. I think, maybe not quite as good as he is, but focusing on at least saying it once. Maybe I need to be a little more firm after. But I do think I addressed a lot of that stuff in my open house this time, which I never did before. And then I went forward this morning and sent the voice messages to the people who hadn't responded since I did my last check-in. And 4 of them started conversations with me after listening to the voice message, which there were 4 people I hadn't met before. So I sent like, I think maybe 7 or 8, I don't know, I posted it in the group the voice recording on Facebook. And so for 4 of them so far, to the 4 that listened, it shows you when they listen, just like with the message, and the 4 that listened, responded. So that's kind of cool because, you know, they see my videos, but then like to have a direct message with their name in it or whatever to them, maybe that will make a difference. I don't know, but I appreciate Brad's input too, because I want to do that. And then one thing I also want to say is like, if I had a struggle with confidence in trying to focus all this effort on recruiting coaches, but I've never had a problem hitting SC. So, like, I felt like I was kind of stuck because I was focusing on that, even though I was at SC10, I'm like not where I want to be. And I like to have like a buffer. So I, just did a regular challenge group invite instead. And, that seemed to help me because I started like 12 conversations last night and I have like 6 more on there I need to start today from people. And I'm really comfortable in that realm. And I'm just changing my response this time to focus more on the coaching aspect instead of, I'm almost treating it like they asked me about coaching, even though they really just asked me about a challenge group. Does that make sense?
Totally.
Because I just thought like, you know, you should totally do this and here's why. And it's the same reasons I always say for the program, but except this time I'm trying to like kind of say it about coaching, you know, and see. So we'll see how that goes. But I mean, I feel like if you're having a struggle with something that you're not confident in, that trying to do something you do feel good in, like that helps. Because I feel good about that and I have some new conversations and I don't feel like I'm pulling my own teeth out doing it. And then I'm just going to approach it differently from there, but it's comfortable for me. And then I can try and push the responses out of my comfort zone more so than the way I invite, because the way I invite works for me and that's comfortable. So if I can get to where they're talking to me, then I can change how I follow up. So I think that maybe instead of focusing on a whole different invite, focusing on a different follow-up process, you know, and just something new to try, because I don't know if that helps anybody, but.
No, I think for me, I kind of chuckle because Amanda, I've been focusing so much on coaching and I stepped up my goals for how many coaches I want to recruit. And we're at the last like couple days of the month, right? 2 days. And I'm like, oh, I'm not quite there because I thought this person were going to sign up by now. And doesn't matter. It's totally fine. But I'm like, I'm going to totally kick butt in a challenge group because, again, you're comfortable. And I'm going to do what Tanya does and convert customers into coaches. Like, it's just another way of recruiting that if something is getting stale or not working as well as you want, like Amanda was saying, then go to this other technique, you know, that you might be more comfortable with, that then will help you be able to come in with the coaching opportunity in a different angle, and you might be more comfortable with it.
Because I feel like I was trying to do something completely new and invite to just coaching, and that was like hitting a wall for me. But, you know, it's just harder for me, and I'll get better at it, but I feel like inviting someone to work on their health and fitness is easier for me because that's something I'm, you know, have experience with. So, anyway, that's all I have.
And a lot of times, too, the way you're brought in is the way you go back to inviting. If you guys watch for that, you think about the way you were brought into coaching. A lot of times we naturally revert back to that because it's comfortable and that's the way we were brought in. Awesome. Thanks for sharing that. Who else got something? Don't be bashful. Everybody's kicking butt. No problems. Smooth sailing, like 5 stars around the corner.
Okay, I have a question.
Okay.
And this, since you called us out like that, and I talked about this on the phone this morning, and I just wanted to put this out there for the rest of the group and see what else I could get. I have this coach, and she's in the Diamond Training Group. This is her 3rd month. She's hit Success Club 10 no problem the first 2 months, and she's all jazzed to hit, you know, Success Starters and get her ticket to Nashville. She has 0 Success Club points this month, and neither of us can figure out what's going wrong, like why nobody is pulling the trigger with her this month. I've looked at her conversations. I've helped her tweak them. I've talked to her about her social media strategy. She's pushing really hard, doing more invites than normal. Like, nothing.
I think that there's a couple of things going on. Is a lot of times I see new coaches do really well their first 2 months, And then the third month is like a total bomb. And it's a struggle. And I think it's because they, one, aren't getting out of their warm market. So they've exhausted their warm market. And, you know, that's something that I've seen a lot of things happen with that. The other thing is that September is typically rough with people going back to school. So depending on her market, like my market is moms with kids in school, and a lot of them are completely overwhelmed. I did a video on this, you know, like myself, like you're getting your kids adjusted back into school, you're getting your mindset for the fall. And so that could be part of it. But I do tend to see, I don't know what her, you know, who she's inviting, is that they've exhausted their warm market and then they're not truly getting out of their comfort zone, or they're like not sure who else to invite because they're just still forming those new relationships with people, you know, because they have, you know, they've had to add new friends and they've had to make, you know, new people, you know, get new relationships, and it takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. So those are two things that could be going on.
I actually, this month, I'm having better luck at getting some of my coaches to Success Club than I normally do. And I honestly think a couple weeks ago, I just was like, forget it. I was like, here is the text I use for a 30-day clean eating group. And we're just going to I want you all to take a picture of your really healthy food that's bright colored. People love that. And just tell them we're going to give them like full meal plan, and we're going to do the 3-day refresh to get it started. And, you know, basically like these busy moms are going to have like a meal plan and clean eating tips every day. Because I have a bunch of that text saved from Tanya and Jesse, and I have meal plans saved that we have in our files section. And a bunch of them just like took it and put a little personal blurb at the top and copied it and put their own picture. And like all of a sudden they all have Success Club 6 now. But I think it was really helpful to change the focus from like the fitness group in my case. And I don't know, everyone's market's different, like Tanya said, but to like the food and the clean eating, because that group is like you're offering them a ton of value, because you're saying like, here's a meal plan, here's clean eating, and here's my pretty food to look at. And, you know, you can even have them do on-demand workouts. And the 3-day refresh is on sale, this challenge pack. So I don't know, maybe all of which to say like maybe changing the focus a little bit, since she's like captured a lot of people with the 21-day fix angle, but maybe switching to like a different angle of interested people may open up to a new market that she hasn't been talking to. That seems to work for us anyway.
That's
an excellent idea.
Oh, sorry.
That's awesome. Thank you.
We also have a 30-day clean eating group, and a lot of it is it starts in the fall, so it'll take you through October. I have all the scripts of the whole post, of the whole 30-day group, and I know actually Alicia Mers and Katie Loam, that's how they signed up as a coach. They initially first went through that with me, and it was awesome because a lot of times getting your kids back into school, the weather changing, like all of us, our moods are changing. If it's starting to rain where you're at, a lot of times people are like depression starts setting in. You know, like they need that accountability and support. So rise them up, like Jenny said, with something different. I think that's awesome. And make it sound really, really enticing. Like the invites have to sound like something amazing that they're like need to jump on right now, because you're going to start the group, you know, whenever Monday, and but they have to have their Shakeology ordered.
Sorry, go ahead.
Trina Gray has a really good national wake-up call on closing Success Club at the end of the month. One of the scripts she uses is, what is it? It's like following up with all of the people that have said no in the past, and she goes back to them and says, hey, just want to let you know, I'm really excited. You're the first person I thought about. We have this brand new challenge group coming up for X, Y, and Z. I know it wasn't the right time before, and that's completely okay. But I know how important X, Y, and Z goals for you were for you. What do I have to answer for you to say yes? And she said that in the National Wake Up Call, and I've used that a couple of times, and it's really worked. So it'll help. Yeah.
And I think going into the end of the month too, when you're inviting people, like, what do you have to lose? You're going to go hard or you're going to go home. So I would go hard in the hope and the plan to hit Success Club. And if people came back to you and said no again, you're no further behind than you were when you started, right? Like you gave it your all. And then also remind her of the benefits of locking in. That's her summit ticket. So remind her of that.
Oh, she knows. That's all she talks about. It's Melissa, Jesse. I don't know if she's talked about any of this in the diamond training. Riley says hi.
So how is everybody doing with personal development? Like, brutally honest, every day, not every day? Yes? Good.
I am. I actually, that would be one of my questions. I feel like right now I'm like, my team is like suddenly growing really fast, and I have all these like very fired up, high energy people. And I feel like I've had this before, and then I always somehow mess it up. And I know that like in my head, I know that like it's probably not me messing it up. It's probably just not the right people or whatever. But like I'm feeling like this very much like, you know, they talk like an imposter syndrome. Like I like recruited all these people with my video sneak peek, and like I told them I can help them build this business, but like I don't really know what I'm doing, and I don't know how to like, you know, I think I said on the group, like I had to dial it back. Like I actually didn't run a coach ad this week. So I'm like, I have 5 people and they're all like pestering me all the time and like wanting to start coach basics faster. And so I feel like it probably is, a lot of it is I need a good personal development to like get my head right. So I have 2 parts to my question. One is like what to do for PD, and the other is like how to sort of like manage onboarding and like all this excitement and like not screw it up. So I know I've been bothering Tanya a lot. So, you know, I don't know if you have any suggestions about that, either of those questions.
I love that. I love that, because I think every single person on this call is like, thank you, Jesus. You just spoke truth to me. Like that's true for everybody. So honestly, I think Jenny, like I think people can make some personal development ideas for leadership. And I remember one summit I came back and I was like, I don't know how I can lead a big team. And I focused on leadership. And every single leadership book by John Maxwell, I think I read, well, I listened to, I should say, I didn't read it. And every single thing came back to lead by example. So when it comes to onboarding your new coaches, and when your new coaches are asking you questions and blowing up your phone, that is awesome. But what you need to do is share what's working for you, not in an overcomplicated manner. Don't be going through and be like, oh, I'm doing an ad, and this is how you do an ad, and this is how you do a boost, and this is how you do that. Like, whoa, how are you inviting? What are you doing? Bring them back to the power of 3. You know, we need to get your Shakeology paid for. The way we do that is by finding 3 people to plug into your challenge group. And when they have a business builder, check in with them if you're in close connection. Like, do you have any coaches that are business builders right now? When you get one started, the first thing we need to do is send them that same email that I sent you with the 7-day quick start and that hello welcome form. And then you give them that what's next step. And that is getting on the phone. And when they get on the phone, it's just simple conversation, and let them know, like, say, remember when I had that call with you? It was just me talking about your goals and the importance of getting your Shakeology paid for, and that we need to find 3 people. That's it. You know, so you remind them what you did with them, and it forces you to stick to that simplicity, because otherwise you're like, oh shoot, what did I do with them? And then you're like chasing and backtracking, and that works. It's that simple. And so it's always that what's next. And for a new coach starting a new coach, that new coach starting the new coach needs the what next as well as the new coach starting. So, and it makes it easier for you because you've done that same thing with them. I used to do getting started right calls with my coaches. And to be honest with you, I think Keith is the one that said a getting started right call is a chance for them to build a relationship with their coach. So it doesn't need to be overcomplicated. They need to focus on getting their Shakeology paid for by finding those 3 people and building that relationship. It needs to be short, sweet, and to the point, and then with a scheduled follow-up call. So I think you need maybe write like on a Google Doc or something, like of what the onboarding process is, so you always see it visually, And then when your coaches start somebody off, you can say, hey, I'm going to send you this Google Doc. This is what I do. This is what I use. And it's a great, simple process for you to get your coaches to get their Shakeology paid for and get to Emerald. And then still be texting with those coaches. If those coaches are blowing up your phone, they're working their business. And eventually it'll die off because they will get comfortable with the basics, and they'll get comfortable with responding to messages and following up. And quite often that's usually what their questions are, is like, what would you say in this situation? Or what do I do next? They eventually get to the point where they know what to do. But otherwise, let them help you.
And Jenny, I have the onboarding process all documented that I use. So I can post that in the leadership page, and whoever wants to use it can use it, because I have it all documented.
And then does anybody have any great PD for her to recommend?
Well, one thing I would add really quick, actually, that I had to learn the hard way was also enabling your coaches to find the information on their own. So they don't continue to come to you month after month for every single little thing. So if the questions they're asking you, they can find in the FAQs, or they can Google it, or they can find it on YouTube. I would also encourage them to use that. So you're teaching them to be self-sufficient and not always rely on you, because I was a huge, I made that big mistake in the beginning, and it started making me really, really overwhelmed by how many questions I was getting all the time. So I think the more that you can encourage them to find the information and take the initiative on their own, the better off they're going to be, and the better you will be.
Mm-hmm. Alicia, can I ask you a question on that? Because
yeah.
I actually started doing that same thing because I started to get really overwhelmed as well. But now I feel like the couple people that I recently onboarded that were super jazzed about this opportunity have like totally fizzled out. Because I feel like I was giving them all the answers and they were go, go, go. But then now that they have to do it by themselves, they're not as motivated. How do you get them to be motivated to find the answers themselves?
Well, I think for new coaches, you still need to have the weekly calls. So I think that's a good way for you to touch base with them. But all the little things that come up throughout the week, like they can post it on your team page if you have a team page, or they can look in the FAQs. Like they shouldn't need you holding their hand every single step of the way in order to, find the answer to something.
Right.
Okay. I think that one-on-one call, though, like she said, is the crucial.
Right.
And how long do you do the one-on-one calls for?
Personally, for me, I like to do them for at least a month for my new coaches. And then from there, I think you can kind of gauge where they're at and what they need.
Okay. Good to know. Thank you.
But that's just me. Yeah.
How about personal development? You guys have any book recommendations for Jenny? For me, I would say John Maxwell, anything like the Irrefutable Laws of Leadership or Growth.
Tribes by Seth Godin is really good too for that.
Anybody else have any recommendations? Oh, let's see. Melissa said Failing Forward.
I actually also have 2 calls. One Brad did and one by Alexa Campbell. She's now gotten married, but she's a top 10 coach currently. They did for my team individually. In both calls, Brad and Alexa pushed me personally to stop enabling, and they've been huge for me and the team. So I know, Jenny, you've seen the one Brad did, but if anybody else wants to see that, or Alexa's, I'm happy to post the YouTube links.
That'd be awesome. There's also, Tanya stumbled upon this killer YouTube link that we can post. And there's a few girls that are amazing rock stars, and they have done calls together, trainings together, It's great on branding and leadership. It's an awesome YouTube channel. This morning I was on the treadmill and I was like, I don't even want to turn this off. Like, you know, when you get good PD and you're just like in that mode, that's what this one call did for me. I was just like, oh my gosh, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. It's amazing. So, you know, personal development is always just learning, right? Learning how we can be better ourselves, whether it's leadership, whether it's marriage, whether it's relationships, whether it's personalities, whatever it is, just growing, because it's going to make us a better person. So maybe you might find some things on there. There's a whole variety. So we'll post that as well. Maybe I'll make a file in our mastermind. And Sarah, if you want to add those videos in there, I'll add that YouTube that Tanya sent me. And, you know, spend however much time you have for PD, learning and growing. But really, at the end of the day, it's simplicity. Keep this super basic. Just like we tell our coaches, the more people you invite, the more opportunity you have to hear a yes. So now for us as leaders, it's all about doing more and balancing our team. And balancing your team all begins with, somebody's at the door, all begins with inviting and making sure that you are inviting and taking an action enough to reach those big, hairy, scary goals. So that might mean that you need to, you know, like Amanda was saying, step out of her comfort zone to do more with the coaching invites, which she's not as comfortable with, or it's something newer, but she is really good at inviting to challenge groups and confident and comfortable, and how she can kind of come in maybe with a coaching invite a little bit different to the challenge group. So just figure out ways within those vital behaviors of how you can do more, and so that you can reach those big goals. And always have the goals be something big and that push you and challenge you. And remember, mentally, you truly need to believe that you are going to get there. So that is, does anybody have anything else to add?
I was going to say one thing really quick. I don't know if you guys have heard about this or used it already, but I've struggled with staying organized with my contacts for like ever since I became a coach. And I started using Google Streak this month, and it's amazing, like completely mind-blowing, like totally awesome. So if you guys haven't heard about it before, I would definitely check it out. There's a ton of great YouTube videos from other coaches showing how they've used it. But there's a great app for your phone, so you can keep track of your people like so easily and know exactly where everybody is. And it's made following up this month a breeze, because I can easily see like exactly where all my people are. It's just been awesome. I finally feel like my head, like maybe my brain can rest a little bit. So definitely check it out if you haven't.
I did a call for our leadership team that I have on my YouTube showing how I'm using Streak.
Okay.
It's 40 minutes long. So I actually cut off the end because I started showing some personal information. I didn't want to post it on YouTube, but I can post that link in the leadership page. I use it a little differently than some of the other coaches online. I call it my nerd version, but same. I totally agree. It's made me a lot more efficient. And actually, I have an assistant that's like helping me use it now, and it's like really easy for her to see like what I'm doing and for us to both get in there. So I highly recommend.
Awesome.
Yay! So does anybody else have any other questions? Comments? Nothing? Nada? Awesome. All right, you guys. So we are pushing the haha nerds unite. I just read this comment. So we are pushing those diamonds. I'm super, super excited. Make sure that the coaches you are starting now, keep it simple. Tanya will post that process, her onboarding process that she has in the doc. And then I'll create a file section and post that YouTube channel. And then if you guys want to share, like maybe Jenny and Sarah those other YouTube channels, that would be great. And then we will chat again, not next week, but the week after. And we should have some new diamonds by then. Yay! I'm so excited. Like I wake up every single morning, like giddy with this group. It's awesome. So thank you so much, you guys. Have an awesome, awesome rest of your day. Keep up the awesome work. And yeah, just keep plugging away in the group. Take care.